If you can't sleep, the most frustrating part is feeling like you're doing everything right. But insomnia often gets worse from small, invisible habits that quietly train your brain to stay alert at night. In this video, you'll learn 7 common mistakes that people miss and what to do instead. This isn't about perfect routines or expensive gadgets. It's about removing the hidden friction that keeps sleep from happening naturally. Think of sleep like a dimmer switch, not a light switch. Your choices all day long set the brightness level at bedtime, and when the dimmer is stuck high, the bed becomes a place for thinking, scrolling, and problem-solving. We'll start with the biggest trap, trying too hard to sleep. Then we'll cover timing mistakes with light, naps, caffeine, and workouts. We'll also talk about how your bedroom can accidentally become a wake room. Take what fits, ignore what doesn't, and test one change at a time for a week. Moving to slide 2. Mistake number 1 is turning sleep into a performance. You check the clock, calculate how many hours are left, and start negotiating with your brain. That pressure creates arousal. Your nervous system shifts into problem-solving mode. Studies on insomnia show that worry about sleep can become a major driver of wakefulness. The bed becomes a scoreboard, and the more you try, the more alert you feel. A better approach is to shift your goal from sleeping to resting. If you wake up, remind yourself that quiet rest still helps your body recover. Avoid clock checking if you can. If you need an alarm, keep the clock out of reach and out of sight. And give yourself a simple phrase to repeat, like "My job is to rest, sleep will follow." It sounds small, but it interrupts the spiral. You're training your brain that nighttime is not for evaluating, it's for letting go. Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 2 is staying in bed while wide awake for long stretches. This is a classic conditioning problem. Your brain learns associations fast. If you spend hours in bed thinking, planning, or feeling frustrated, the bed starts to signal wakefulness. Sleep researchers call the fix stimulus control, but the idea is simple. Bed is for sleep and intimacy, not for wrestling with your mind. If you've been awake long enough that you feel keyed up, get out of bed and do something quiet and boring in dim light. Keep it low effort. Think calm reading, gentle stretching, or listening to something neutral. Then, return to bed when you feel sleepy again. This can feel annoying at first, but it's powerful retraining. You're teaching your brain that the bed predicts sleepiness, not struggle. Over time, that association becomes automatic again. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 3 is using bright light at the wrong times, especially late at night. Your circadian rhythm is your internal clock, and light is its strongest signal. Bright light in the evening tells your brain, stay in daytime mode. That can delay melatonin timing and make you feel wired even if your body is tired. This isn't only about screens. Overhead LEDs, bright bathroom lights, and even a well-lit kitchen can do it. The fix is to create a light ramp. Keep evenings warmer and dimmer for the last hour or 2 before bed. Use lamps instead of overhead lights. If you need to get up at night, keep lighting very low and warm. Then in the morning, do the opposite. Get bright light early, ideally outdoors. That morning light helps set the clock so sleepiness arrives earlier the next night. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 4 is catching up with long naps or late naps. Napping can be helpful, but timing matters because of sleep pressure. Sleep pressure is the gradual buildup of your drive to sleep the longer you're awake. If you nap too long or too late, you drain that pressure, and bedtime becomes a battle. Many people then lie in bed longer to compensate, which can worsen the cycle. If you truly need a nap, keep it short and earlier in the day. A common guideline is around 10 to 20 minutes, enough to take the edge off, not enough to sink into deep sleep. If you wake up groggy, that's often a sign the nap went too long. And if insomnia is severe, you may want to experiment with no naps for a week, just to rebuild strong sleep pressure at night. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 5 is underestimating caffeine's tail. Caffeine doesn't just wear off after a couple of hours. Its half-life varies by person. And for many people, it can still be active into the evening. That means you might fall asleep, but wake more easily, or get lighter, less restorative sleep. Another hidden issue is inconsistency. If you have caffeine some days and not others, your sleep can feel unpredictable. A practical approach is to set a caffeine cutoff time and keep it stable. Many people do better when caffeine stays in the morning window. Also, watch sneaky sources like pre-workout, energy drinks, strong tea, and even some chocolate. If you want to test sensitivity, try reducing the dose first, then moving it earlier. You're not chasing perfection. You're removing a common, silent sleep disruptor. Moving to slide 7, mistake number 6 is exercising too late, too hard, or too inconsistently. Exercise is great for sleep in the big picture. Studies link regular movement with better sleep quality. But intense training close to bedtime can keep your core temperature and stress hormones elevated. For some people, that delays sleepiness. The problem isn't the workout itself. It's the timing and the intensity relative to your nervous system. If you notice you're tired but wired after evening training, experiment. Move hard workouts earlier, or keep late workouts lighter, like easy cycling, yoga, or a relaxed walk. Consistency matters too. Random bursts of intense exercise can feel like a shock to the system. Aim for a steady weekly rhythm. You're trying to send your body a predictable signal. Daytime is for activation, nighttime is for downshifting. Moving to slide 8. Mistake number 7 is using alcohol as a sleep tool. Alcohol can make you feel sleepy at first because it has sedating effects. But as your body metabolizes it, sleep often becomes lighter and more fragmented. Many people wake up in the second half of the night and can't get back to sleep. It can also worsen snoring and breathing disruptions in some people, which further reduces sleep quality. The tricky part is that you may not connect the dots, especially if you fall asleep fast. If you drink, the experiment is simple. Try a stretch with no alcohol, or move it earlier and reduce the amount. Pay attention to middle-of-the-night awakenings and how you feel in the morning. The goal isn't moral perfection. It's understanding your personal sleep chemistry and removing a common source of 3 a.m. wake-ups. Moving to slide 9. Now let's add a mistake that ties everything together: inconsistent wake time. Many people focus only on bedtime, but your wake time anchors your circadian rhythm. Sleeping in after a bad night feels logical, but it can shift your internal clock later. Then, you're less sleepy the next night, and the cycle continues. A steadier approach is to keep your wake time mostly consistent, even after rough sleep. You can still be kind to yourself. Use a calmer morning, get light exposure, and keep the day low stakes if you're tired. But try not to move the wake time by hours. If you need recovery, use an earlier short nap rather than a late sleep-in. Over a couple of weeks, a stable wake time strengthens the rhythm that makes sleepiness arrive more predictably. It's one of the least glamorous fixes, and one of the most effective. Moving to slide 10. Another overlooked mistake is turning the bedroom into a multi-purpose command center. If you work, argue, pay bills, or doom scroll in bed, your brain links that space with alertness and emotion. Even if you can't change your living situation, you can create boundaries. Keep work outside the bed if possible. If you must use the room, assign zones: bed for sleep, a chair for reading, a desk for tasks. Also watch temperature and noise. Many people sleep better in a slightly cooler room, and sudden sound spikes can trigger micro-awakenings. If noise is unpredictable, steady background sound can help mask it. The point is not making a perfect sleep sanctuary. It's removing cues that tell your brain to stay on duty. When the room signals safety and simplicity, your nervous system has fewer reasons to stay vigilant. Moving to slide 11. Here's a mistake that sounds healthy but often backfires: spending too much time in bed. When you go to bed very early just in case, you increase the chance you'll be awake in bed. That weakens the sleep association and can fragment your night. Sleep specialists often look at something called sleep efficiency: how much of your time in bed is actually spent asleep. If efficiency drops, the bed starts to feel like a place for wakefulness. A practical experiment is to tighten your sleep window. Choose a bedtime that matches when you reliably feel sleepy, not when you wish you were sleepy. Keep the wake time steady and let bedtime float a bit later until sleep becomes more consolidated. Once sleep stabilizes, you can gradually expand time in bed. This is not about deprivation. It's about rebuilding a strong, clean sleep signal. Moving to slide 12, let's talk about the mental load mistake, taking your whole day into bed with you. If your brain uses nighttime to process unfinished tasks, it will keep generating reminders. A simple offloading routine can help. About an hour before bed, do a quick brain dump on paper. Write tomorrow's top 3 tasks and one tiny next step for each. Then write any worries as questions, not statements, like, what's one thing I can control here? This signals closure. You're telling your brain, we have a plan, we can stop scanning. If thoughts still show up in bed, don't debate them. Label them gently, planning, worrying, replaying, and return to a neutral focus, like your breath or a calm audio track. The goal is not empty mind, it's reducing the urgency your brain assigns to those thoughts at 2 a.m. Moving to slide 13. Now let's pull this into a simple plan you can actually follow. Don't try to fix all 7 mistakes at once. That usually increases sleep pressure in the wrong way. More effort, more monitoring, more frustration. Pick one lever that matches your pattern. If you struggle to fall asleep, start with light timing or time in bed. If you fall asleep but wake at 3 a.m., look at alcohol, caffeine timing, and what you do when you wake. If your sleep is unpredictable, focus on a consistent wake time and stable caffeine rules. Track only 2 things for a week: what time you got up, and roughly how long you were awake at night. Keep it simple. The win is not a perfect night. The win is a trend toward less struggle. Small, steady changes teach your brain that sleep is safe and automatic again. Moving to slide 14. To recap, insomnia often persists because the brain learns wakefulness patterns through pressure, light, timing, and what the bed represents. If you remember one idea, make it this. Reduce the cues that tell your nervous system to stay on duty at night. Start with the easiest change. Maybe it's moving caffeine earlier, maybe it's dimming lights sooner, maybe it's getting out of bed when you're wide awake instead of battling it. And if sleep problems are severe, long-lasting, or paired with loud snoring, breathing pauses, panic symptoms, or depression, it's worth speaking with a qualified clinician. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. And for a quick check-in, comment A or B. A, you struggle more with falling asleep, or B, you struggle more with staying asleep. This information is not a substitute for medical advice.